Hello everyone and welcome back to the official Aura History Untold Dev Diaries. My name is Stephen Bell, aka Stakuyi, and I am thrilled to bring you all another exciting episode. This week we are joined by lead designer Michael Califf, and we're going to be diving into the heart of Aura, exploring the fascinating progression system through 3 acts, each with its own unique set of technological eras that is going to take us through human history. So without further ado, let's get to know Michael and learn all about the intricacies of this groundbreaking game. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Stephen. Happy to be here and talk to people about Aura today.
Michael, it's fantastic to have you here. Let's go ahead and start by delving into your journey a bit as a game developer. Because, I'm a gamer. I played things for years. And so I am curious, what inspires developers? Like, what got you started in game development? What really led you to the historical grand strategy genre?
What got me started in game development was actually the same thing that kind of seems to have put you in the room today. I like playing games. It was fundamentally that simple, right? And realistically, I actually started off working on building an income based on playing games, right? Like for a while I did the competitive scene, for a while I did some like Twitch broadcasting and such, and that kind of paid the bills. But after a while, I got involved with like one game in particular that was in early access. And the developer would tune in to my stream constantly, like all the time. We would work together on how to build the game better, right? And after about a year of that, honestly, I eventually turned to him and I was like, "Look, this is all well and good. I enjoy doing this. Also, could you give me a job, please, so I can actually pay my bills?"
Makes
so
sense.
I got started in QA and games through all of that, and so I more or less stumbled into actually making games. It wasn't something that I had targeted, but it was a way to continue to like play games and talk about games and get paid for doing it. So that's what I was doing. And then one thing led to another. And over the course of a few years, I moved from being in QA to being a lead designer on Aura. And as for why historical grand strategy, well, the company I was at previously was building historical grand strategy game, a 4X game. And that's what Oxide was building. I have a lot of experience in playing those games. I started playing Civ 2 when I was 6 years old, so it made a lot of sense to go ahead and join and participate as a designer on them as well.
Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at Aura's 3 major acts. In our interview with Michelle, we had learned that Aura is divided into 3 acts, and it covers a rather significant part of history, a lot of different historical periods. Can you share some of the key events or milestones that players are going to experience in each act, like what differentiates it?
Generally speaking, we've tried to focus each act in a way that makes sense throughout history, right? Your early act, Act 1, is focused from the ancient era or the Stone Age, depending on who you talk to, all the way through antiquity. So it's really that just the foundational development of civilization and how it works up until the period of the antiquities, Rome, Greece, etc. from that time. And it's just focused on laying that foundation and building up your nation. After that, we turn in Act 2 toward the Middle Ages through the Enlightenment. And the Middle Ages and the Enlightenment become a lot more focused on, you have your nation established. Now we're going to start giving you challenges in regards to management of your people. And so the stats of your citizens in terms of how educated they are, how happy they are, get a lot more important within Act 2, and making sure that you are appropriately managing them, giving them what they need in terms of luxuries that they have access to, goods that they can consume to maintain themselves, what buildings and improvements you have within their cities to help them. That becomes significantly more important. We actually present to you challenges in the form of quests to continue along with that theme through Act 2. Act 3 is when we hit the Industrial Revolution all the way until the end of the game, right? And so that becomes a lot more focused on a conclusion. And we actually have certain challenges that we present to you at the end of the game, separate from the Act 2 ones, that are instead focused around the execution of the strategy that you've had. You've built up your people, you've got them to a position where they're taken care of. Now prove that you've done a good enough job with that to actually win the game. And that's what Act 3 is more focused around, as the concept of energy and various crises that you'll see in the modern era come into play.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, I have to ask, because we talked about a vast period of time, and so the transition between acts is probably something that is pretty pivotal. Like, I'm not expecting that you're going to be seeing something like, oh, it's the Parthenon. Oh, hey, next step, here's a trade. Like, you're not going to be seeing that big jump. So can you tell us how that phase or that transition is going to unfold and how it's going to affect things?
Right. So we do have the transition between acts, like solidly placed into the game, and that transition is going to occur based on like the technological development of the world as a whole. So based on like certain numbers of players reaching various thresholds, that's when we go through the act transition. And what happens there are a couple of key things. First of all, you'll see a transformation of the world. So the world effectively leaves the antiquities and enters the early Middle Ages, kind of all together to some extent. You'll have various players around that time, but you'll see the world itself change, the various like clothes people are wearing, houses that they're living in, etc., transform when we hit that transition period. The other big thing that happens at the transition is we actually start culling people from the game, potentially. You can think of this as almost like a battle royale circle closing mechanic built into the game, where certain nations, all of the nations, are measured by how prestigious they are in the game. Prestige is a very important element of the game. Nations that are considered very prestigious are ranked very highly, and then certain nations will be ranked very low in prestige, and they will be considered to have been forgotten to time. And so leaders of those nations will actually be eliminated. Their civilization itself becomes ruined, which gives an opportunity for other nations to move in, take a look at the land there, claim the land, pick through the ruins of the civilization that are left behind. And it kind of just encourages players to keep themselves in a reasonable position throughout the game. Don't fall behind too far.
Does that automatically happen, or do they collapse?
Oh, it automatically happens, but the civilization itself effectively becomes ruined, and you will see ruins of it scattered about where the nation used to exist in the game. And so that leaves the opportunity for other players and their explorers to like move in, see what's going on there, potentially find a forgotten technology from that time, or gather resources, things of that nature, and then eventually reclaim the land for themselves.
That is really cool. And I saw something in here that you can gain prestige from multiple sources, like culture, warfare, science, religion. It's all kind of balanced. So how will players be able to implement different play styles and strategies to gain prestige? Because there's not just one way, obviously.
There's not just one way. Prestige is a system that we're happy with here because it encourages players not to just pursue that one path. The whole point isn't even just that the player can play in any of these various paths, but that the player can even combine these paths into something that will succeed. So you're right. You can gain prestige by winning wars. You can gain prestige by researching technologies and doing well along that path. You can gain prestige by developing cultural masterpieces that key citizens in your nation build for you. And that's going to be like important works of art or literature, etc., from throughout history. You can gain prestige by trading and engaging in strong relations with other nations. You can gain prestige, I think I said, by winning wars. You can gain prestige by building triumphs, monuments throughout history, right? There are all kinds of different paths you can use. And part of the point is that you can even combine these paths into whatever play style works for you. And as long as you're doing well enough and aren't forgotten at act transition, you can keep continuing on that path.
Honestly, that all makes a lot of sense, but I'm sure that players at this point are wondering, Ara encompasses this huge range of historical periods, from ancient history to the future age. So how are these different eras going to be represented in the game world? Like, how do I actually progress from one era to the next? What is the definitive marking point that transitions that?
The player researches technologies throughout the game, as may be expected. And after researching a certain number of technologies within an era, we allow the player the opportunity to pull the trigger and say, hey, I would like to go forward. So you're in the ancient era at the start of the game, and you're researching things like archery, you're researching basic agriculture, so on and so forth from there, right? So certain commerce-related things. And then after you've researched a number of technologies, we unlock for you the ability to advance to the next era. And that's actually an important decision for you to make. And generally speaking, right now, when moving from the ancient era to the bronze era, what you research is copperworks, this notion of, oh, I've hit a significant technological milestone and therefore have moved on.
Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for joining us today and giving us incredible insights into Ara's acts and eras. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me here today, Stephen. It was fun to talk about the game.
And thank you to all of our fans who are watching. You can stay up to date with the game by subscribing to our YouTube channel for future Dev Diary episodes. Follow us on the social media platform of your choice. And don't forget to wishlist Ara History Untold on Steam. Now, I know that is asking a lot of you, but we do bring gifts in return. We are giving away PC Game Pass codes on our Facebook every Tuesday and on Twitter every Wednesday. So be sure to follow, retweet, and answer each week's prompt for your chance to win. Thank you again, and we will see you all next time.